That's right, everybody, another Star Wars video. What is going on, fellow board members? Welcome to the boardroom. I am Ords, and today we are taking a look at an article from piratesandprincesses.net. But before we do that, guys, I want to talk a little bit about, you guys know, that's right, you see it on the screen, Mark Hamils tweet out, thanking Dave Filoni and Favreau for what they've done for Luke Skywalker. If you guys have not checked out my last few videos about the Civil War going on in Lucasfilms, make sure you check those out. Those will be in the description down below, maybe even in the pinned comment, so make sure you check there as well. I'm really bad at doing that sort of thing. But anyway, guys, so you guys have seen the tweet, I'm sure, but we're going to go over it here real quick. Mark Hamill tweets out and says, "Sometimes the greatest gifts are the most unexpected, and something you never realized you wanted until it was given." So now I definitely think that we all wanted this. We all wanted to see Luke Skywalker in this vein again. And it's very awesome that people can get to enjoy that, seeing Luke as the badass Jedi we all know him to be. From the EU stuff and the original. So, and I've said this multiple times, we now have something for the fans to gather together and talk about and get excited about, which gets me excited for Star Wars, which is why I'm doing the Star Wars content. So when Mark Hamill, he's been very, I would say, relatively critical of Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi and how that pretty much divided the fan base into multiple different factions. And he has voiced his opinion about how he doesn't really like the direction that Luke went or was taken from The Last Jedi on, and then the melting pot that was it Rise of Skywalker, whatever. Anyway, case in point here is we have Mark Hamill tweeting about this, thanking Favreau and Filoni for bringing Luke into a light that we all know Luke should be in. Very exciting stuff. I just wanted to share my 2 cents on the Mark Hamill tweet. I know a lot of people don't necessarily Mark Hamill's political views, but I'm not here to look at Mark Hamill's political views. I look at him as an actor, and as a person who's going to do a job when it comes to acting, and that's what I expect him to do. His voiceover work, his acting, whatever. He's Luke Skywalker is what it comes down to. And if the man's tweeting about it, I think maybe Disney, you should listen to this, because I know this is something that we've all wanted for a very long time, and we've got it. There's some good steam behind you, Disney. Do not let Kathleen Kennedy and the clowns on her end of things continue to drag Star Wars in the dirt. We've got some fans back. Let's keep pushing, and I think that we can bring some more fans back into the fold and get more people excited about Star Wars again. But anyway, on to the article. All right, guys, so here's the article we are looking at from piratesandprincesses.net. Robert Downey Jr. in talks to join Favreau Filoni Star Wars universe. So it would make sense. Robert Downey Jr. has worked for Filoni, Favreau, I take that back, Favreau before, in Iron Man. So they probably know each other very well. Now, I believe he is possibly talking about playing Thrawn. Now, I don't necessarily think Robert Downey Jr. would be a good Thrawn, but I think that we could find a place to fit him somewhere in the Star Wars universe. I'm not saying that Robert Downey Jr. is a terrible actor. He's a great actor, but at least when it comes to certain roles, I think he can be kind of one-dimensional. So, I don't know. I'd be intrigued to see him inside a Star Wars entity, but let's get into the article and find out. We told you that big news would be coming out of Lucasfilms over the next coming weeks, and based on the headlines for this article, I think we can safely say that's coming to fruition. So let's get straight to it. We believe that at this time, based on our sources and other just breaking reporting, that Robert Downey Jr. is in serious talks to join Favreau Filoni's Star Wars cinematic universe. So, just talks. That's the thing with these. You guys got to take this as a grain of salt. It would make sense that this is maybe a rumor because Robert Downey Jr. knows Favreau. So just take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's true, but I do believe it being a possibility just because those guys know each other and they're comfortable working with each other. And Favreau knows that he can probably go to Robert Downey Jr. and get anything he needs out of him. So they have a working relationship, and I think it'll just make it a little bit easier, but totally possible. But just remember, guys, with a grain of salt. It's important to note that Downey and Favreau have an excellent and friendly relationship, like I was just saying. Those guys know each other, so it wouldn't surprise me if they brought Robert Downey Jr. in to do some work for him. Both hold each other in very high regard and actively look for opportunities to work with one another. We do not believe that the current and potential talks for Robert Downey Jr. joining Star Wars are of a cameo nature, nor are they of a small role. At this time, indications given to us are that things are moving forward towards a major reoccurring role that may involve work in more than one series and may involve a long-term contract. Maybe they're going to put him in some movies. I don't know. Maybe that's one lead we're working on, but cannot yet corroborate is that the potential role may be a very different one than Iron Man / Tony Stark that Robert Downey Jr. played for so long, and that it might involve a serious change in appearance. Yes, of course, we're talking about Thrawn. I mean, with CGI and makeup, hopefully they do as much practical and makeup effects as they can and then fill in with the CGI. You guys know how I feel about that. If you've seen my channel, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I appreciate good practical makeup effects. Furthermore, at this time, we believe Jon Favreau is actively recruiting other big names that would normally be associated with theatrical releases. This seems to solidify our understanding that the paradigm shift is occurring in which streaming services are rapidly becoming the marquee form of entertainment, with theaters across the globe losing the ability to stay open due to the pandemic and increasingly due to loss of capital reserves. Yeah, so it makes sense. These actors who do movies mostly are going to want to stay in the acting business, so we have TV shows that are filming. It seems like things are moving along on the TV front, but not necessarily the theater front. And this whole pandemic thing has kind of advanced us like 10 years to begin with when it comes to like the streaming services. And the interesting thing is that people are seeming to enjoy being able to purchase these videos or these movies at home as opposed to going to the theaters. So maybe theaters become kind of like an experience, you know, like, oh, hey, we haven't been to a theater in 6 months. Let's go see a movie, get some popcorn, things like that. Eventually, I think maybe that's the way it's going to go. But neither here nor there. My point is that Favreau is he's setting them up to knock them down. He knows some big names in the movie industry, and those people are going to want jobs. So he's going to pick the people that he works well with. And I'm okay with it. You know, some of the bigger names coming in, I'm okay with that. Some veterans, you know, I like a lot of the MCU stuff. I know it's got its problems, but I like what Favreau and company has done with that. So I'm very anxious to see what they could do with a handful of TV series. So what I think you're going to see is you're going to see Disney divert money over to the Favreau side of things. The stories on Disney Plus, they're going to be focusing on Disney Plus because it is making them money. People are subscribing to it, especially because of The Mandalorian and how successful that is. Disney's going to look to invest money into that, especially because they don't have a lot of money. So they need to invest their money in something that's going to make them money. And so far, what's making them money in Star Wars is The Mandalorian. So there it is, guys. The article, Robert Downey Jr. in talks with Jon Favreau and company to possibly play Thrawn in the Star Wars TV series, possibly maybe movie down the road. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. If you guys would be excited to see Robert Downey Jr. come into the Star Wars universe to play Thrawn, or if you think that maybe he would be better fit another character, maybe, let me know in the comments down below, guys. I would love to hear from you. Okay, everybody, that is the video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. And as always, make sure you hit that subscription button. It always helps. We are trying to get to 1,500 subscribers. So we're pushing hard, guys, and we are going to get there. But you can help us get there by hitting that subscription button. And I appreciate all of you guys for coming through and checking out this video. With that being said, guys, Robert Downey Jr. possibly coming into the Star Wars universe. Kind of excited to see what happens here with this. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I love all of you guys, and we'll catch you on the other side. Peace.